Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to this week's vlog of One Man and His Boat. And this week is all going to be about storms. So guys, a very warm welcome indeed, and thank you very much for joining us here at very stormy Dunbar. Now, this is the first storm of the year and it's a hoolie. It's only going to last 48 hours, but the damage it can do in that 48 hours, well, time will tell exactly how much damage it will do. However, this isn't just the start of it. There's a little lull, but the swell doesn't decrease, and then there's another storm coming in after that. So as if this is the start of the year, then maybe working this winter wasn't such a good idea after all. Maybe it'll actually cost us more than we shall gain. So guys, the reason that I'm hiding behind this lovely fisherman's monument here at Dunbar is basically it's reeking a gale round the corner from it. And this is the only place that I can actually talk to you, so you're not getting too much wind interference. Now, I was lucky enough to be able to get out and put the gear in deep water. However, there's a lot of gear round about the gear, and if this storm lasts any longer than 48 hours, which it's supposed to, there might be movement in gear, and gear might get wrapped up into each other. Now the gear's out in 12 fathom, which is not too bad for us. Some of it's in 15 fathom, but like I say, the gear surrounding, because Dunbar is so heavily overfished, there's no getting away from it really. So what my hope is that this swings through quickly, there isn't a lot of movement, and we're able to get out in between and get the gear hauled and stretched out and make sure everything's all tickety-boo between the next storm. However, what I just said at the start of this vlog, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. The next storm that comes in is actually going to be a higher swell from the same direction, which is a north to northeast wind, and that for Dunbar is pretty severe. I know it sounds all doom and gloom, but that's the risk we play at playing fishing. I'd love to say it's a job, but the way it is these years, I mean, honestly, my God, these storms seems to be getting more severe. They're getting earlier. I mean, these type of storms used to happen in November. Now, this is what, the end of September, and the swell's getting higher every year. I mean, this is to be clocked at about 2.6 metres. And the next one after this, we'll talk about 3.3, so we shall see what it does. That's what you call fighting Mother Nature, and the money they may must be paid. That's the local saying for it. You might also have noticed there's not as many boats berthed here. They're all getting sold now. That's 2 went last week, another one up for sale. We're hoping that Richard's boat, the blue one up on the pier, will be sold this week. So that's good news. But we've still got poor Fiddler's Green. Why is Fiddler's Green not selling? It's one of the best boats in the harbour. I know I've said that about a lot of boats, but she is heavy built. She's been well looked after. Oh, she hardly misses a day. Really, really good boat, but she doesn't seem to be shifting whatsoever. It's actually quite sad to see how many boats are not left in Dunbar now, and what's going to happen in years to come. You can't even make a 5-year plan at this job. I'm not going to start moaning, because we're all talking about storms, so I'll take you around the rest of the harbour. Now guys, this is a visiting boat. It's a survey boat for Torness. These are for the wind turbines that are going in at Skaterow Harbour, or round about Skaterow area anyway. That's where they're doing the survey about. Now guys, lucky enough, this storm that's arrived today and tomorrow is on a neap tide. That means a very small tide, which is absolutely brilliant. It should take away the severity of the storm, because if it was spring tide and we had that, forget about it. I'd just be going out there to pick up my rope. Seriously, even though you've got your gear on soft and everything like that, once you start getting that snowball effect with the creels, it's just damage galore. And you're better just replacing what's there. Obviously it depends on how knocked up the creels are, obviously, but aye, I was just speaking to one of my friends there, and he was saying that the farmers are saying that this is the year with the snow, which means the snow's got to come from the north. So as if this is just the start of it in September, here's to us October, November, December. Our worst months used to be January through to March. Now it seems to be kicking in earlier and earlier every year. Yeah, can you put it down to global warming? Who knows, I'm no expert. But I'm just reporting to you guys exactly the changes that's happened in the last few years. The last few years it's just been absolutely horrendous. It just makes me wish I had a tow boat again, at least all the gears on the boat when it's weather like this. Aye, mind you, if this keeps up I might have to go back driving, I don't know. It's alright, I drive Lindsay up the wall anyway, so it'll no matter. Right, anyway, on with the tour. We'll go see if we can catch some waves, can we? Oh, and another thing I was wanting to say to you is last year the farmers kicked up a whole fuss. Not that I'm dissing the farmers, because without farmers, you ain't got food in your plate, guys. Without fishermen, you ain't got food in your plate, guys. They had a little complaint to your government about all the rain they've had and how late the crops have been and everything like that, and they got compensation. Where's the fisherman's compensation when their gear gets hammered? Zero. We have to take out the money that we earn during the summer to compensate the smashing in the winter. So basically, we don't make much profit because we're always spending money back on the boat, back on the gear. It's a vicious, vicious circle, it really is. The best way to describe how to make a million at fishing is to start off a billionaire. I'm not going any further up that corner because I'll get wet. I'm not doing that. We'll go into the other harbour, we'll have a look across the battery, see what's what. And yeah, so what's happening here is obviously we're getting a sea wind, and that means anywhere from that direction to that direction is pretty bad for Dunbar. It's very bad for Dunbar actually, especially the longer it goes on, the bigger the swell gets. Now, wind creates waves, waves create swell, and swell creates damage. That's the best way to look at it. And I think because this is just the start of the storm, I mean, it only started sort of AM this morning, and look at it already. If that's got another 24 to 48 hours build up, you can imagine what's going to be here tomorrow. Which I'll probably be back down to have a little look anyway to see what's what. Obviously just to check the boat to make sure she's okay, and to see what's happening with the sea itself. And that should give us a rough estimate of what we can expect the next time we go to sea. Hate this time of year. I was smarter last year, I brought all the gear in last year. This year, not so smart. You keep thinking, maybe this year I can get work to winter. I mean, we worked our very first winter. So, yeah. Right, I'll shut up. I'm always blethering on about nothing, you know. Now, since last year's storms, Dunbar Harbour Trust has actually built up the Broadhaven with huge 1-ton boulders. So hopefully this year that will make a difference for the swell in the old harbour. Especially when these storms get more and more severe as the winter carries on. Oh guys, that's wild. Yeah, that's going to be interesting in the next 12 hours. I met a lovely young fella called Scott. He's got a yacht that's in the harbour that's actually broke its moorings, and he's going to try and go across to try and tie her up, but I've advised him not to do it just now because we're at the top of the tide just now. The tide's now ebbing. And to get 2 or 3 other boys with a motored vessel to go out to his boat, because he was going to try and go out there with a tender. Now, I gave him a lane in my life jacket just in case. So, hi Scott, I hope it all goes well, son. Rooting for you, mate. In fact, there he is there. He fell in the yellow jacket, looking at his pure pride and joy. Yeah. Just goes to show you the forces of Mother Nature. I mean, he looks after his boat well, and he put brand new ropes on the back end as well, and that's the ones that have snapped. So, well, he thinks maybe it's been ripped, the cleats have been ripped out, but I guess time will tell. Right, let's find some waves. That's really interesting. Metal frame and a wooden bottom. Oh yeah. It's going to be rather interesting to see how this year's going to pan out. I really do, because if this is the start of the winter, this could be make or break for a lot of businesses, I would suggest, because as you, anybody that's new to the channel, if you go back, you'll get to see how hard fishing is, and stuff like this. It's just making it all the harder, and it's happening earlier and earlier as the year's going on. It's just like we never get a chance anymore to fish. Right, I'm not sure if I'll come back tomorrow or not. I guess stay tuned and you'll find out. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You're here for day 2 of the storm, and luckily enough things have went our way. During the night the wind must have turned round to the northwest and it's killed a lot of the swell. Don't get us wrong, I mean look at that, that is still choppy. But it's given good steads to actually get out on Sunday. This is Friday at the minute. Tomorrow they're still giving a 2 metre swell, so that's just a little bit too much for the Lindsay Bay. But Sunday looks a better day, so what we'll do is we'll go out on Sunday, see if there's any damage to begin with, see if anything needs brought in or anything needs repaired. Then we'll stretch them back out, ready for the next storm, which is happening on Monday. Believe it or not, and guess where that's coming from? The northeast, exactly the same as how this one started. So yeah, it looks like an early start to winter this year. It's getting, oh, honestly. But I'm quite glad that one shifted a wee bit. If it had stayed round to the northeast or north, you would have had a lot more swell than what's already there. Yeah. So we'll have a wee look at the rest of the boats, see how they're sheltered up. Now I know guys that the tides are very deep and all the rest of it, but I do think Dunbar Harbour Trust has got it right with this one. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Somebody's either broke their mooring or their mooring rope snapped. Oh dear. Oh, it's on the rocks as well, bless it. Right, I'm going to see if I can do something about this. Don't know if you can see down there guys, his mooring rope's actually snapped. We'll see if I can go and do something to help. Used a very hard rope for mooring rope. When you get a bit of weather like this, you're better with softer rope so there's a bit of bounce in it. Don't try this at home, kids. I know what I'm doing. Back down we go. You're right. Just need to tie his front end up now and that's him. He's all safe and sorted. There we go, one boat rescued. That's better than it bashing on the rocks. Never thought I'd be doing that this morning. But that just goes to show, guys, always come and check your boats when the weather's on. Look at the forecasts. Make sure everything's hunky-dory. And above all, make sure you've got enough mooring ropes out. For the amount of wind that's there and the swell that we've had, that isn't enough rope. You think it's only a light 16-foot fiberglass cobble, but when that wind's got it, there's some to and fro in it, and with that rope being absolutely hard as nails, you'll wear through that very quickly. So you better chucking 2 ropes up at the back end for this application, I would say. If you had 2 ropes out at the back, because obviously you can see that the tide and the winds want to take it towards the rocks. If you had one on the outside cleat, that would help keep the boat into the pier as well. But that's what happens when the eBayers buy a boat and think it's a great idea. Oh, look at me, I've got a boat. Well, if you've got a boat, you've got the responsibility of owning a boat, and owning a boat, you get down and you check your boat on the tides. Simple, plain as. It's only common courtesy. Right, shall we go and check out some waves now that we've done all that nonsense? Big set coming in here, guys. Ooh. See that one here? Just 1, 2. It's hard to believe just a week ago we were fishing in there. It's crazy stuff, it really is, guys. Oh, but that's Mother Nature for you. She will always, always win. And that's why you've got to keep the heat and you've always got to stay safe. Because it doesn't matter about your boats or anything like that. She will always win. Guarantee you. So guys, there we have your day. This is your vlog. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all your support. And I shall see you in your next vlog, guys. Until then, you take care of yourselves. All the very best.